Welcome to High Gluttony, everybody, and our Detroit style pizza, one of our lost episodes. We're going to share that with you today. This was a very, very fun recipe from Serious Eats.
Of course.
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Becca. We like to talk about food.
We like to talk about food. I just jump right in. I'm like, no, you don't need to know who I am. The food is important. Nothing else.
Get to the good stuff.
Get to the good stuff.
But yes, this is Detroit style pizza. We actually recorded this over the summer in July, in fact, because it was Gretchen's birthday. So you might hear us talking about that little celebration that's happening.
It was very, very good for birthday eating. It's a very filling pizza. This is another Serious Eats recipe.
I promise we make other things.
We do. We really will. So we split this up into a 2-day process because there is the making bread, and giving that time to proof overnight seemed a little bit more logical to me. I did make a double batch because I actually did the pizza twice. I did it once as a sort of, for my birthday dinner with my friend Sarah, and then again with Becca the next day. So I ate lots and lots of pizza for a week.
It's so good. It is such a good pizza.
And I just made it again recently. Discovered the pan that I thought might be the right size is a little too big, so the crust was quite thin. I think what we did where we actually cooked it in a cast iron skillet was superior, in my opinion, as far as cooking goes. I don't know.
It's really good. I make this sauce a lot just as like a pasta sauce too, like a quick pasta sauce.
It's super easy. Like the pasta sauce takes like almost no time at all. Especially if you're just using it on pasta, you don't have to reduce it as much. So there's that advantage.
Highly recommend this pizza. I think because we split it up, it did make it slightly more complicated, not too much more. But I think on the whole, we both feel like this is a world level 2 recipe.
I agree. It is a world level 2 because it's not overly complicated, takes a little more time. It's not the pizza you're used to because you are putting the sauce over your toppings. So it's a little bit different, but that just makes it more fun.
Definitely.
So we
hope you enjoy. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say we have 5 sections in this episode that we're going to run through, and we'll do some little intros for you so you know what you're listening to. Since this was in the early days of recording, it's not quite as streamlined as I feel like we have it at this point, but pretty good actually, I think, for where we were at that time. So
I agree.
So we'll give you some little intros.
Exactly. So you'll hear those section changes, and be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and at HighGluttony.com, where we're sharing pictures and recipes that we use and all that fun stuff.
And enjoy.
Have fun. Okay, section 1. We start off with making our dough and letting it rest for 10 minutes.
So the recipe actually has a couple different methods. We both, for the first time, made the stand mixer dough. So they have stand mixer, food processor, and by hand. And I'm probably more fond of the stand mixer and hand route because I believe I also did it later in the food processor and found that it wasn't quite the same. It didn't have the same nice texture. So definitely recommend going either by hand or with the stand mixer.
It's very easy with the stand mixer.
And a little added bonus if you decide to add some herbs into your dough so that you can flavor it a little bit more. But the plain dough is amazing, so you don't have to do that.
No, but it is fun. I put a little, when I made it the second time, I put a little oregano and a little extra garlic powder on the dough, and it was really good. Well, cheers. Happy birthday.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
It's been good so far. Nothing too crazy.
That's perfect.
I'm over here getting my pot. I was like, I wish I had a blunt. Like, I really wish I could roll blunts or joints or anything like that, but I
hear you.
Terrible at it. Smoke a joint kind of day, but I cannot roll a joint to save my life.
But it can't be that kind of day.
We're making Detroit style pizza because apparently, even though I'm from the Detroit area, I didn't fucking know about this shit.
And my question about it was, is it like Little Caesars? So that's where we're at with our Detroit style pizza knowledge.
we want to know, is it like Little Caesars?
All right. So tonight we're making the dough and the sauce so they can sit overnight. And then tomorrow we'll finish them off.
I'm going to try and do a double batch of bread right now since I'm doing a test run this evening.
Oh, okay.
Although I was looking because there's 3 methods for making the bread, and I was kind of interested in how it would be to do the one that goes in the food
processor.
Yes, thank you. I had one hit of pineapple haze and my brain has fallen out of my face.
So you're adding your cups to a mixing bowl. Is that right? I mean, your flour.
I'm adding my flour. I was like, well, yes, yes. I'm just putting them in a regular bowl right now. I'm actually weighing mine.
Of course.
I love the water measurement on here.
I know.
220 grams, but then also 1 cup minus 1.5 fucking teaspoons. I'm like,
I know.
why are you being mean?
1 cup minus 1.5 teaspoons. It's a real game. It's just a real game.
It's very specific.
Yeah, real challenge because I'm not getting it exactly to 1, but then I can't just assume it's taken out 1.5.
Ah, shit.
Then.
And I'm weighing mine and went over. So by 24 grams. Oh wait, I need to do double because I was doing.
Oh right, you're doing double everything.
So I need to get to 220. So I need 440. Okay, never mind. I didn't go over yet. I can disregard.
Right,
all
you're under.
Yeah, I'm having some rage this week. I'm like,
yep.
What did you get for your birthday? Rage.
More anger than normal.
Yeah. So I just noticed something about this recipe. That you mix the bread flour with the yeast, which this is not unheard of.
Okay.
But I find it kind of interesting for a dough that you're like expecting to use within 2 hours or so. Because like the sort of generally accepted practice is to do like when we did the naan, where we call it blooming, but started the yeast, like got it all foamy first, and then mixed in the whatchamacallit, the flour, and the rest of the liquid. That's what it is. So we're mixing, basically kind of doing like mix your dry ingredients and then mix your your water. So I think that's sort of interesting, but like usually I've seen that when something that you are like letting proof a little bit longer, or you're not going to use it the same day. But I just read his little blurb at the top about how it's not an everyday pizza. It's not an every week pizza. It might not even be an every month.
If you want to live to a reasonable age, it says. So you can do it.
You could do it.
It is an option. Yeah.
It's an option. I also had a burger for lunch. So I'm like, I'm going for it.
Going all in.
I'm going to feel like shit tomorrow, but
birthday hangover.
That's my business.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's your business.
I may regret those words, but I have coconut water on hand. I'll be fine.
Coconut water.
The cure for everything.
Yes. I also find Coca-Cola a nice hangover fix. The regular Coca-Cola, not diet.
Right. No, I can't drink diet. It's gross.
Yeah,
I'm like, my mom used to drink it. Like, she's like, no, I like the taste. I'm like, you're wrong. That stuff tastes terrible.
That doesn't taste like anything. That's just metal. Yeah. You're wrong.
So, you're wrong. You're wrong.
You don't know what you like. Yeah.
I wish you could tell people that sometimes, but
sometimes
they're not okay with that usually.
Nope. No.
All right, good. Good. It looks like my bread will all fit in my bowl, so that's good.
Oh, yay. Okay, so we're going to start adding flour.
Yeah, so we put your yeast and your flour and salt in the bowl of a stand mixer.
And this is bread flour specifically, it said.
Yes, bread flour, which I was sad because I like Bob's Red Mill, but they did not have Bob's Red Mill at the local market. I didn't feel like going to Whole Foods.
I was able to get King Arthur flour, which is funny because we debated doing Serious Eats or doing a King Arthur recipe.
Oh, that's
for
true.
The pizza.
I would have been perfectly happy with King Arthur as well. Oh, whoa. Okay. Put more than enough salt.
Salt. And then water, 1 cup of water minus 1.5 teaspoons. Very specific.
Very specific. All right. I'm about to kick my mixer on here. So.
Okay. What are you gonna mix it at? Like low?
Yeah, pretty low. I mean, I've got it on stir right now, so.
Okay.
But since I threw my yeast in first, I'm gonna move I'm just using my hands because my hygiene is terrible. No. Because I'm lazy and I like putting my hands in my ingredients. Might be a better answer.
You're making your food, so you get to make it how you want.
And I guess
it's your business.
Yeah, it's my business. Fuck it. Although I am feeding this to another human being, so I'd probably not be quite as cavalier as I normally would right now.
That's a good point.
EJ, are you so sweet? You're so sweet, EJ. Oh, am I talking to a cat? No, I'm not going to feed you right now. There's not even a top on the treat container.
Oh my God, how did that happen?
Either I left it off or Ginger took it off.
Oh my
Unclear.
Unclear at this point. Unclear.
Okay, so stir to combine and then add water. Did you already add your water or no?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to add mine since now I'm
man.
Because I'm just dicking around over here.
Got about 10 minutes. So it should stick to the bottom of the bowl as it needs rather than riding around the edges. I think mine's doing that. I finished. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Did you finish Roswell?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, I'm so far behind you now.
Well, I've had 2 days of all I've done the last 2 days is watch Roswell and play Minecraft. So literally that's it.
I like your life right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to stop mine for a second because it's just, since I have that professional series, when you have it's not mixing very quick here, so I'm going to move things around a little bit.
It's not mixing quickly. It's not like binding.
Well, right. It's like there's like a pile of wet dough in the center.
Oh no.
And a bunch of flour around the outside.
Gotcha.
So it's just like not even getting absorbed. Maybe if I speed this up. Oh, all right.
There you go. Yeah, so I finished the whole season and I cannot wait to talk to you about it.
I'm sorry.
Take your time. I got a lot of stuff on my watch list right now, so don't worry about it.
Don't you worry. I was like, oh, I wonder if Becca's watched the 7th episode yet. Oh no.
Blew past that.
You blew past me.
Yep. Man. I know, because I think I was only on like 2 or 3 or something when you were on 7. But, you know, they move quickly sometimes.
No. All right. Now mine's starting to look like a dough.
So will you keep it in there longer because you think it's just now kind of getting mixed up properly?
Maybe. I'm just going to go by what I think.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm starting to see this. It's going to stick to the bottom of the bowl thing.
Situation.
Yeah. That was exactly what I was trying to say. Yeah.
So what are we looking for here?
Well, let's see.
Silky ball.
Oh, it says, okay. Oh, sorry. You're letting yours rest for 10 minutes, right?
Me, not yet. I'm about to stop the.
Yeah, I'd stop it now.
Okay.
Because it says mix until dough just comes together into a rough ball.
Oh, I thought it said do it for 10 minutes.
No, it's a no, because I also thought it did. No, it's fine. I'm sure you're probably fine, because all we're gonna do, so we're gonna let it now we're gonna let it rest for 10 minutes.
In the bowl.
In the bowl.
Okay.
And then we're gonna turn it back on and let it knead for 10 more minutes.
Okay. Mine's pretty sticky.
Yeah, mine's really sticky.
Okay, good. This will be interesting. It's always interesting when we bake stuff to see, because I'm at a higher altitude than you are. So It's always fun to see like what difference that makes. And it's much drier here than where you are.
Okay. All right. Well, where did I put that other bowl? Because I'm going to need it. Okay, I just set it over there.
You want me to set a timer for 10 minutes? Is yours still mixing, or did you pull it?
No, I turned mine off because I went back to read the recipe, and then I was like, oh God.
Turn it off.
It's supposed to rest for 10 minutes and then turn it on and mix it for 10 minutes.
Even ingredient or even recipes that are like pretty straightforward, I feel like I read through this. I thought I had a good understanding of what we were going to do. No. And also, yeah. I mean, we've been talking a lot, but this is the entire active time is 45 minutes, and we've been going for an hour and 10.
Technically, we haven't been going for an hour yet because we started at 4:15. Remember? So, because
that's good point.
And we kind of weren't really ready to go. Like, I feel like 45 minutes would have been if we weren't. Yeah. It's like, well, while we have 10 minutes, we should like get our other stuff measured out.
The sauce stuff,
and we could probably even put it together.
So I'll start heating up my pan.
Yeah, this is very straightforward. It's like,
I love it.
Put your warm up pan, add some minced garlic, oregano and pepper flakes, and cook until fragrant, 30 seconds. Add tomatoes, garlic powder, onion powder, and sugar, and bring to a simmer and cook until reduced to about 3 cups. How am I supposed to know that? But okay.
You know what? One thing that's interesting, it says, so like step 5, it says for the sauce, adjust the oven rack to the lowest position and preheat oven to 550, and then heat 2 tablespoons. So I kept thinking we were going to put the sauce in the oven for some reason.
Well, that's because, so if we were doing this all in one go, then
that's what the next step would be.
Yeah, we would be.
I guess I don't know why they didn't put it at the end of step 4. I don't know why that bothered me. Because I thought you'd have to use the oven for the sauce.
No, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Because I also thought that when I started reading, I was like, oh, we're going to put the sauce in the oven. That's interesting. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, no, we're not.
No, we're not. Anyway, it's not a big deal. Like you said, if you're doing the whole thing straight through, not a big deal. But if you're pulling it apart like we are.
Especially because to get to like a true 550, it's going to take a little while. But it's a little confusing because, well, I guess, okay, so it comes, basically what this really wants you to do is make the sauce the same day, like right before you put it on the pizza.
Sure.
Maybe that is part of like the Detroit style pizza flavor profile, is like a more,
like that fresh garlic, fresh.
Yeah. But it's also not fresh because it's canned tomato.
And a lot of powdered herbs.
Yeah. So I was like, this will probably taste even better if we let it sit till tomorrow or overnight. Idea. And then we can just get it back out and reheat it. So that's
perfect.
Part of it. I also think it's really interesting because you put the sauce on top. Did you read that part?
No. You put the cheese and then the sauce?
So you put the cheese down.
Are you doing meat? Because it says pepperoni first, right?
Yeah. So I have some sliced pepperoni. I was going to also do sausage, but I might not do that this evening.
So this says pepperoni first, then cheese.
Cheese, then sauce on top.
Interesting. Because of the square, it just catches it all?
I guess so. So I'm very intrigued by how this will all work out in the end.
Yeah.
Runaway garlic.
I've been thinking it's a lot of sauce, but it says we'll only use half of it.
Half.
I appreciate that because then you can use it again, but I also kind of hate that. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, give us half the recipe.
Fucking
then.
Hate that.
Seriously.
I fucking hate that because then you are going to never use that sauce.
The chances of using it again so small. Like you just fucking had pizza. You're not gonna make pizza again the next day or the next day. Like maybe the next day,
but you could also put it in the freezer.
That's true. But then you just have like a cup in the freezer of 1 cup of sauce, you know?
But what if you love it so much you make this again?
I know. And I do appreciate
I'm just making an argument.
I know.
I'm giving you ideas, but
opening my eyes. I
get
it, but I also
you could end up like me, who will never throw anything away. Like I also had to clean out my freezer this week, and I found all of the ice packs I had not been able to find in a while. Like,
oh, here they are.
Heading into section 2, we are making our sauce. This starts with a little bit of olive oil in your pan, to which you add minced garlic, oregano, pepper flake, and I think just that part first. You heat that in the oil until it's fragrant. Then you add your canned crushed tomatoes, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of sugar. And you at least used the granule,
granulated caramel, right from our first episode when we make toasted sugar / granule / granulated caramel.
I might have as well, but I don't remember. The last time I made it, I actually used honey, just because I had that nearby, and it was the same. Yeah. I mean, any little bit of sweetness is fine.
Sure.
And then it's seasoned to taste with salt.
We both found that the recommended heat of medium when you start off with just your olive oil and garlic was a little bit too hot. And so we ended up turning it down significantly lower, which we'd probably recommend actually to just kind of start lower and then turn it up if you need to. But we had to rush through adding our canned tomatoes and our other ingredients and that sort of thing, which I wish I didn't have to do.
Yeah, and there was a splattering issue, and so I made a big mess, which is not uncommon, but I don't need help with making messes. So
exactly. But once you get it going, you reduce it down to about 3 cups.
And then this is where we start discussing what pan we're going to use for our pizza. And we both decide we're going to use a cast iron pan instead of the recommended pan from the recipe. And well, I don't remember the part about the dough there.
We mix it for 10 minutes, let it rest for 10, or we mix it and then rest it and then mix it again.
Yeah. And then we pick back up after we've done the 10 minutes of mixing, just because mixers are very loud. And so trying to talk over that seemed a bit silly. So.
No, we did leave it going.
Oh, we did. Oh,
that's why I wanted to put a disclaimer.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. Sorry. Yeah. I was like, I definitely remember listening to the mixers. So.
Yeah.
And we also talk about my home grow. So we talk about that a little bit in this section. It's a long section.
Yeah, this was a long section. And then it's finally time to form our dough into a ball. And then we let it rest for longer. Like we said, we let it sit overnight, but the recipe calls for 2 hours. So this is definitely something you can do in one day. We broke it up for a couple of reasons, and I think either would work for you.
Yeah. And we ran into a little bit of trouble with our dough. And It's supposed to be a wet dough, but we did end up adding a little more flour than recommended because it was just so wet when we mixed it. So we figured it could hit a little bit more flour in there.
Right. But otherwise, I don't think we made many other changes at this point.
All right. I'm gonna put a lot more than 3 cloves of garlic in mine.
Did you add? Sorry. Did you add your olive oil
to the pan? No, I haven't even gotten a pan out. Oh, I did get a pan
good,
out. Never mind. I lied. Right.
Oh, so this recipe also calls for a square pan, but we are both using cast iron skillet.
Caution to the wind and just do it. Not doing that at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But thank you for your guidance.
Yeah. Sorry, Kenzie. We are. I just can't. I can't be tamed.
No. I don't have an 8x8, and I didn't want to go buy an 8x8.
Right. Is there a salt measurement? No.
For the sauce?
It just says to taste. All right.
Yeah, to taste. I thought I had a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and then I went to go get it, and it was diced. So I immersion blended it a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So now I have kind of crushed tomatoes.
Kind of crushed tomatoes. Works for me. I mean, basically, we're looking for a very sauce-like consistency. So the smoother it is, the better off you're going to be.
Sure.
Essentially what I'm driving at here.
Okay. I'm excited for you to have it tonight. You'll have to let me know how it is.
Like, am I insane? But then I'm like, it's my fucking birthday. I can eat as much pizza as I want.
Yeah, you can. Even though we just said you never would use it again.
Yeah. No, well, theoretically, I'm just saying. I mean, most people, he does say at the top, he says it's not an everyday pizza. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to have it 2 days in a row just to spite
I'm going to do it. Yep. We're going to see how it goes. The timer just went off. So it's been 10 minutes that our dough's been resting.
And then so we'll turn this back on.
Turn it back on.
Okay. This is I'm intrigued by this methodology. This is very interesting.
So when would you add olive oil? I don't remember seeing that yet.
So I think that we're putting it on the outside of the dough is what I'm guessing.
Oh, before we wrap it up.
It's either in the pan or...
just in the pan.
It's confusing me to have 3 dough recipes.
Oh, should I set another timer?
Probably.
Okay, I'm going to do 9 minutes.
Trying to be kind of precise about this. I actually think the olive oil is just for the pan.
Okay. So it says we're going to wrap it in plastic wrap. Is it okay to just use like a bowl lid instead of plastic wrap? Like why specifically plastic wrap?
Probably just to try and keep the moisture in as much as possible.
I see.
But if you've got a bowl with like a lid, then you should be fine.
Okay. Let me know when you add your olive oil to the pan for the sauce.
Okay. Well, it'd probably help if I turned my pan on. Number 1. Step 1. So I don't know if your dough is doing what it's supposed to do, but I'm pretty sure mine is.
It's not in like a ball necessarily. It's more in like
a weird clump.
Snowman kind of situation. Yeah. But it is primarily just it's like wrapped around the
hook.
The hook. And it's like a tornado. Yeah, it's not getting out to the sides. Yeah.
Right.
Snowman and tornado. The official ways to describe the kneading process.
The kneading process for this particular dough. I did get part of one of my plants harvested, so that's a good one.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, not really, because like for the most part, most of the like larger families had dried up on it.
Oh, so you just had to kind of.
And I was just like shaking it out, like. Well, so the harvesting process was actually not that hard, because then I just smashed up like all the dried leaves on that after, and then shook it out again, and I was like, that's good enough. Yeah, so And the other one I don't think is quite ready. I'm trying to let them go a little bit longer.
So what are you growing right now?
So I might have killed one of the plants you gave me.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, it's not
That's okay.
dead yet, but it's not very
not
happy
looking
right
hopeful.
now.
Yeah.
And I transplanted it because it was like kept drying out a lot, and so I was
Interesting.
like, obviously this pot is too small. Like it's not keeping any moisture in the roots.
Yeah.
And I got dirt delivered last weekend.
Yeah, so
I
much
just
dirt.
Put dirt. I still have so much dirt in my driveway, but then I had like filled every pot I own with dirt. So I just like had to go out and get a pot and repot the plant because I was like,
you were like, I got this. We're ready to go.
Yeah, this is all right. Let's literally do this all the time, like
all the time.
Pots around. Yeah, just have them full of dirt. I have no idea
sense.
where my olive oil is. I'm about ready to put it in my pan, but I gotta find it first.
Okay.
My pan's a little too hot, so I don't know where yours is at, but
okay.
Ooh, a lot too hot. A lot too hot.
A lot too hot. Gotcha.
Oil and start again because
Mine's
not
pretty
good
hot.
To smoke it. Yeah, maybe give you
it's not
like
steaming. I think it's okay. It's just it just like spread pretty quickly, but there wasn't any like
no smoke.
Steaming or yeah. Okay, so then add garlic.
I was gonna say score 1 for an electric stove.
I know. Well, I'm finally getting like the temperature down.
Wow, that pan got really hot.
Yeah, that's great. That was like exceptionally hot.
I mean, it's still smoking. Also didn't realize we needed chili flakes.
Oh yeah, red pepper flakes. Garlic. Oh, mine might be a little bit hot. My garlic is starting to like brown a little.
All right, well then just move on to your can of tomatoes faster.
Add that in?
Yeah, go for it. So did that just start sputtering?
It did sputter a little.
Just because I heard it.
Oh, interesting.
But then it stopped sputtering.
I had turned the temperature down and then it sputtered just for a second while I added the tomatoes. But now I think we're okay. And the timer is the timer's going off for the dough.
Switch that off. Put my pan back on the heat here.
Came off like a little snake.
Looks like a little snake. Is that what you said?
Well, it came off like a little snake, it seems. Okay, I gotta add my stuff to the sauce still.
Gotta add what?
The oregano and onion and garlic.
I'm also... God.
The cats are attacking?
No. My sauce. I added my sauce because I realized that my oregano and stuff was getting quite fragrant and a little brown. So
no.
And so I threw my tomatoes in and then it just like splattered everywhere. I got quite splattered with a bit of tomato.
So we'd probably recommend a little bit lower heat.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, and then 1 tablespoon sugar. And I still have toasted sugar.
I'm almost out and I was thinking about making some more.
My heat is now on 1.
Yeah, I turned mine all the way down. Time for more wine.
Yep, keep drinking. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't get you a red wine. I didn't know you were going to have the pizza tonight.
Oh, well, that's okay. I might end up drinking this as an appetizer. So
there you go. This is a pre-dinner bottle.
I'm also going to do something really shameful and put a little sparkling wine in my wine, or water in my wine.
A little spritz?
I'm making myself a little spritz.
I love it.
Well, yeah, especially for me, it's like why do Porto Tonicos not totally fuck me up the next day?
They don't.
No. So I'm like, it must be that like you're mixing it with some sort of water. I mean, I know it's not really water, but
at least it's not another alcohol.
Right.
Like a Negroni.
Something non-alcoholic, yeah.
Yeah. I love Negronis, but every once in a while I'm like, this is just...
It's a lot.
A lot of alcohol.
It's a lot of alcohol.
I say that, but I've drank like half of this bottle of wine already. So
you won't tell anybody.
So this sauce is supposed to cook for what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Reduced to 3 cups. That still feels... I might just put the lid on it.
So if you make sure you put it a little off so that the steam can escape, so that it can reduce.
Should I not put the lid on then?
Well, I'd be tempted to put the lid on just to keep it from splattering.
Yeah.
This is pretty thick, so I think you're going to get a lot of splatter off of it.
You are sticky with dough.
My hands are covered in dough. What am I going to do?
Covered in dough. You're extremely sticky. We just put this right into a bowl. We don't put oil on the sides or anything.
Nope.
All right.
Just make
stick it up
into a ball. It's very, very sticky. That's why I'm having so much trouble getting it off my hands. I'm going to put a little flour on my hands so I can get it off. I know he wants it to be a wet dough, but it's going to have to handle having another tablespoon or so of flour in it. I'm wondering if this is, I got this in a container, like a to-go container that I'm going to put a lid on. And I don't know how this is going to be as far as like trying to
airtight it.
Keep it in there.
It's going in. Going in the bowl. All right, little guy. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right. So dough prep done.
Yay. Sauce in progress.
How much garlic did you end up doing?
Like 5 cloves.
Nice. And you doubled your sauce. Oh, you don't have to double your sauce. It's already doubled.
Right. Yes. That was also part of why I was like, I could very easily double this dough and make this two days in a row.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm putting my dough into, which I'm concerned it's going to like expand out of this container. So I might have to check on it later.
It says it will double in volume. How much longer are you going to cook your sauce for?
Let me check it and see. I probably am going to give it at least another 15 minutes.
Another 15. Okay. So probably more than 30. Great.
It's probably going to end up being more than 30. Yeah. Because I don't think mine's reduced very much yet. And that might be because I also put the lid on.
Ah, you did end up doing it.
Yeah. Because once as soon as it got to boiling and started splattering, I was like, no. Yeah. We're not doing this.
Okay, great. Well, I will see you tomorrow then. Happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for the wine.
Of course. I hope you keep enjoying it.
Yeah, I will. So.
Yeah, you will. Okay, section 3. We pick up. This is the point in the episode where we actually pick up from our Friday night to our Saturday day. You can hear one of Gretchen's cats trying to be a part of this. But we pick up with our dough that's rested overnight and our sauce that's also been just sort of settling and combining into lots of goodness overnight too.
And I talk you through how mine had turned out on my first go through. Oh, so yeah, we talked through how mine had turned out the night before, and then we do a little bit of discussion about gluten and oil and structure and dough, cake, bread, that sort of thing. So this is where you get your technical information for this episode.
I think we have 2 fact sort of sections in this last half, so that's just the first of them.
That's just the first one.
I was wearing some jeans earlier and I was like, oh, I don't know that I can get these jeans back on until I stop eating as much cake as I've been eating over the last few weeks.
Been celebrating a birthday.
Yeah, which I don't dick around on that. So
no, that's when you're supposed to eat too much cake.
Yeah, it's the only appropriate time for that. So
I've been snacking on my black olives that are supposed to go on the pizza.
This is a problem. I did eat a considerable amount of pepperoni last night. So
I bet.
But yeah, overall, the pan, doing it in the pan turned out really well.
In the cast iron.
The crust was delicious. So it's basically Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut.
Dough. The way I used to remember it. Like when I was young. So I'm like,
we've been talking about Pizza Hut so much lately.
Yeah. And like how the crust is doesn't seem to be the same anymore. Either that or, my taste is too sophisticated for that shit. But yeah, so like today, it was actually only today when I was eating it for lunch. I don't have a prayer fitting in any of my pants for at least a week.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So,
it's your business.
That's going to be one of my catchphrases now.
It is. I love it.
Here comes Ginger saying,
oh, do I get a treat?
She's like, what? Are you looking for me? It's really good. So here are a couple more of my... Oh, and don't let me forget to read you the things in the on food and cooking book that I found that I was like, I didn't get as much into the dough section as I would have liked, but I did find a couple of little nuggets I wanted to drop in here as far as education goes. They're probably a little on the nerdy side, but anyway, first the sauce. So I was curious to try like what we did with the chana masala and putting the baking soda on the onions so that they caramelize and then cook down a little bit. What kind of flavor that would add to the sauce. But otherwise, I like it for its simplicity, you know. And I did learn a couple valuable things on my test run last night. The thing about putting the sauce on top of everything, that is essential because if you put any ingredients on top, they burn because the oven is so hot. So putting that sauce over the top is essential because like it keeps the moisture in. Some of the toppings kind of pop a little bit through the top, but not a lot. And then you just kind of get a nice, although mine took mine a little too far last night. I'm mad that I didn't set a second timer. How long was that in there? And I
hate that.
Probably left it in there longer than I wanted to. But it worked absolutely perfectly. So if today does not go as well, I'm going to be really bummed.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes great.
Yeah, me too. Moving on to pizza times. Both got our dough out about an hour or so, maybe more like 2 hours ago. So it should be
probably
properly warmed up by now. I forgot to send you the picture I took last night. Remember how I was having that debate about the container? Yeah, I was right. It busted out of that container even before I had the other pizza in the oven. And it was in the fridge.
Wow. So it doubles in size.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Now we know that.
The other thing I did, which I will have to see the result of, because when I pulled the plastic wrap off the other dough, like a lot of the dough stuck to the plastic wrap. And so when I put the plastic wrap back on this other dough, I actually rubbed the plastic wrap with a little bit of oil so that it wouldn't stick.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I was surprised. It didn't say to grease the bowl we were storing it in.
Yeah. Now, I may have found a reason for that in my journey through on-food and cooking today.
Tell me all about it.
Okay, so, train of thought. I can't believe I had not really realized this before, but I swear I'm going to get this sentence out of my mouth at some point. I also probably need to go grab the book and double check what I'm saying. But so it was talking about, I can't remember. This was, I believe, in the dough section because I think everything I have marked is in the dough section. All right, let me get my book so I can enlighten you.
I love this.
Yeah, I know. Like, how long have I had this book? Like a couple weeks now?
Yeah, you've already gone through so much of it.
That was just today that I put on all those tabs.
Oh my gosh. There's like 15 tabs already.
Yeah, well, I've marked out some of the major section, although the plant section really needs to be subdivided because it's huge. Okay, so let's talk first about what I think is most relevant at this moment.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So gas bubbles are what make leavened doughs and batters light and tender. Breads and cakes are aerated to the point that it's pretty much 80% of their volume is empty space.
Wow.
That's sort of fascinating. And I believe it, but like
breads and cakes? Is that what it said?
Yeah, breads and cakes.
Interesting.
So fats. So this was on adding fat to your dough, and then it says shortening. And I had this just flew my fucking mind because I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, had I not realized this before? Shortening is a term used to be fat or oils that shorten, quote unquote, a dough or weaken its structure, thus make the final product more tender or flaky. So literally, like, it's the shortening of like the gluten strands. So that's why like cake is the way it is because cake is more like well, not obviously not all cakes, but cake's butter, you know, like you're basically just, I'm like looking at you, but you're like looking at my boobs.
Yeah. Well, the book, but also,
you can tell which I consider more important. But that is like one of the major concepts of baking is that things like bread, you want to elongate your gluten structure because that's what holds your air in.
Okay.
And I'd have to go look up more about cake batter to understand more about cake batter. But the cake batter has usually it's more of a crumb, like it's a smaller crumb, whereas, bread, you got your long strands usually. Yeah. I'm not making any sense right now.
I think it makes sense. It sounds really cool. So this process, so it's called shortening. So that's like the process of literally shortening the gluten binding.
Right. Yeah.
So what impact does fat have on that then?
Okay, so putting oil or fat on the outside of the bread theoretically could impact your final product.
Oh, okay. So it's not necessarily about the way that it's sealed. It's more that if you introduce fat right now, it changes that shortening process.
Right.
Okay.
Because we're definitely making more of a bread. Okay, this is good. I found the thread again of where I was trying to go with this.
The bread thread.
I got the bread thread back. And lost it again. God.
Because introducing fat changes the process.
The process. Now, so one of the more interesting things is that this dough is sort of more of akin to like focaccia or something like that, where it's a little bit almost sort of a cakey texture, like it's not.
You can see like the holes in it a lot.
Yeah, but
not a lot, but
well,
not really.
You'll understand once you've actually made it. To me, it's a lot more because I made pizza last night. Like the concept is a little bit more a little fresher. It's a little more
tangible.
More tangible. Thank you. That's the word I wanted.
That's the word.
The word.
I had a question, but I forgot. Okay, so because we're gonna oil the pan, right?
Yes.
That it's going in, and that's okay because it's already gone through its stuff.
Right. So it's a little bit of an interesting process because you oil the pan and then you take your dough and you literally just press it out into the pan. So it's a little bit different than like a roll, like something if you're using a pin or stretching it by hand, stretching it by tossing it in the air.
We're making a pan pizza, a Pizza Hut personal pan pizza.
Pizza, yeah, basically we are.
All right, on to section 4. So we talk a little bit more about my grow, and then also journaling and tracking results with the plants, but also your cannabis usage. We discuss my favorite app for sort of trying to figure out what works best, which is Relief. It's spelled RELEAF. And so it's just a nice way to sort of, if you're trying something new, you could kind of make sure that you know anything that is good about it, bad about it, or any bad side effects. Like if it makes you really anxious, maybe that's not the right thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
We start working our dough to make the pizza itself. So we'd gotten it out a bit earlier in the day, about 2 hours before we started this process.
Yeah, and then once it's been out for a little bit, we both get our cast iron skillets out. I used a 10-inch. I think you had a 12-inch. And then with your fingers, you just spread the dough out toward the edges and then let it sit for another 30 minutes before you come back to it and then push it out all the way to the sides.
So yeah, that's section 4.
Do not like how this particular pot tastes. No, I don't like it. It's one of my blueberry harvests, but like it doesn't taste very good.
Oh, it just doesn't taste good, or it tastes like a different flavor than normal.
It just is a bit funky. I'm not sure what I did to that particular batch, but it came out so funky. I'm a little concerned.
Do you like journal it?
What, my pot? Well, yeah. I did. So I was for a while doing a lot of journaling because part of like wanting to start this podcast was like to be able to spend time talking about how things affected me. And I do like the Relief app. Do you log yours at all or no?
No, I don't. I was just curious. I've been thinking, we've been growing a couple of little like pea shoots and herbs and stuff. We keep saying like it'd be nice to track like when did we actually like plant the seeds and how long did it take, and like for curiosity's sake, but also for like repeatability.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, like that is a lot of anything.
Yeah.
Being able to repeat the results in a consistent fashion is always nice. So
right. Ooh,
to a certain extent,
bubbles in it.
Oh yeah, mine looks really nice.
So this will be interesting. So, that was my question. it only needs to rise for 30 minutes, right? According to the recipe.
I mean, 2 hours plus, because it's like put it in the pan for 30 minutes, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm wondering, I'm asking just because I'm curious about the difference between you cooking it last night. Like it did sit for as long as it needed to. So I'm just curious how it's going to go today. Like, what do you think will be the difference between last night and today?
Oh, okay. To be determined to a certain extent.
Got it.
Because I think my sauce will have a bit more depth of flavor, like
Sure.
just having that little bit of extra time to sit overnight. The dough is going to have a slightly different flavor because it's basically had time to sort of, I guess we were really doing fermentation process because dough is also fermentation. It'll be interesting to see a little bit because I did learn to bake bread. I've only done it in a mostly practical viewpoint. So I never really spent a lot of time thinking about it, which is the fault of somebody who's young.
Sure.
Whereas I think about shit a lot deeper now.
Right. Well, you have more context for life too. You can piece things together in a different way.
So yeah, I'll be interested to see, if putting that little bit of oil on the dough to keep that from sticking is going to have a huge impact, have some sort of impact.
I have an 8-inch or 10-inch.
Okay, so mine
10 maybe.
is 12.
Should I half my dough?
Yeah, mine's a 12-inch skillet. So I would, maybe, because I think it was a little full last night. Like I put it in there and it looks like too much. Then I might take some of this out. Oh, I forgot to finish reading the recipe.
Feed the recipe.
I forgot to feed the recipe. I wish I had got to get a little bit of this oil on my hands so that's sticking to me. Stop sticking to me.
So sticky. All right, so it's in the pan and you're just kind of pushing it out to the edges, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So, and last night, I put it in the pan, let it sit for however long it took me to kind of chop up my ingredients a little bit because I hadn't chopped anything up before Sarah got here either.
Okay.
And so that gave me plenty of time to let that sit. A little bit of an advantage today because I've got part of my toppings prepped already. But
are you doing the same toppings again? Sorry.
Yes, yeah. So I'm going to do some pepperoni and sausage.
Okay.
And then I mixed a little bit of onion into the with the sausage so that I had a little extra something in there.
Nice. Are you going to heat your sauce back up or just leave it as is?
Because it's pretty warm.
Yeah.
I might put it in front of my oven a little bit here.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's so spicy.
I'm so surprised because you don't love a lot of spice, right?
I've been dealing with it a lot better. I just was not expecting to have it get so spicy. I used some pasta herb mix thing that we bought when I was in Italy the last time.
Okay.
And apparently it's much spicier than I thought.
It's got a kick, huh?
It's got a kick. So I can show you one of my pepperonis that was on top of the pizza last night.
That got burnt?
For some reason. Yeah.
It
so even
toasty.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I don't remember.
It got burnt?
Yeah. Toppings on top got burnt. Sauce on top. Way to go.
Sauce on top. Way to go. Well, at least, I mean, you're right. Back to your point earlier about us just being we're going to do it this way. I mean, sometimes you got to learn for yourself also.
Yeah.
Why they say these things.
Experience is the best teacher, don't they say some shit like that?
Somebody says something like that, yeah.
I'm going to cut up some more cheese.
So last night you did mozzarella and Monterey Jack. Are you doing that again?
Yeah. I'm not going to cut up any more of the Monterey Jack though. Just because I still have a bit left from last night.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to cut up the rest of the mozzarella.
Gotcha.
Save that Monterey Jack to use with some the pulled pork I made last week and make like a pork and Monterey Jack sandwich or something.
Oh.
Says the person that doesn't like pork.
I don't like eating it, but I can appreciate the flavors that it can go well with it.
I guess that's sort of a similar thing I have with all fish things. You know, it's like I can't eat it, but I know lots of people like it. So theoretically, I can appreciate that flavor profile.
Yeah. I'm not going to begrudge a conversation about pork and its culinary benefits just because I don't enjoy them myself.
I just always feel a bit like an asshole if I'm saying to somebody that's, you know, a vegetarian, I'm like, yeah, so the pork that I love to eat, I mean, I know you don't really have a problem with it. Like, but I feel like it's weirder when I talk about it than when I like just do it in front of you. So that's some weird backwards fear.
That's interesting. But... yeah. We could dig into that a little more sometime.
Yeah.
So I'm draining my mozzarella.
Okay.
I'm gonna be so glad to have one of my big mason jars back. We only have two, and this one was used for the plant, and then the other one's being used for the lime pickle. And so I have just been like desperate to get these guys back.
You were just like, I can't keep this because I need this jar.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like, so can I get rid of all this? I can get rid of all this. I can have my jar back. I'm walking around a bit just to shake up my lemons and limes.
Let's see. I think I shook my limes yesterday. I'm not as weird, like, since I don't know that, did the lime pickle recipe even tell us to shake it, or are we just doing that?
We're like, shake the limes, shake the lemons, do it all the time.
Mixing is not gonna hurt it.
Okay.
I think I forgot to put my chilies in my preserved lemons.
Oh, you did?
I think so.
And you didn't do jalapeno in your ginger beer, right?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I have to see how spicy this is before I want to add more spice to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there is an upper limit, but right now I'm especially like obsessed with eating Crystal hot sauce. Like for some reason I am like obsessed with it.
Interesting.
So like, especially if I'm eating pork. Here, let me talk about pork a little bit more.
Keep talking about it. Let's keep talking about it. Yeah, bacon.
But yeah, like I had gone looking for Frank's red hot sauce. Just because that's the one I typically would use as like with wings and things like that. And I just wanted to have some on hand because I was like, maybe I'll make wings and have to eat them with some sauce.
Right.
Okay, so I'm good. All my ingredients.
Okay.
My oven is up to temperature.
Yep, me too.
Okay.
But the dough has to sit, right? It's probably been, what do you think, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So we've got 20 minutes.
I was gonna say, do we want to take a short break? Because I feel like we'll be done pretty quick after we assemble the pizza. So if we take a break and come back in about 10. Does that sound
perfect? That sounds great.
See you back here.
And now we're into section 5. It's pizza time.
It's time. So we learned from Gretchen's test run the night before that the reason you put that sauce on top is to prevent any toppings you have from burning, because this pizza cooks at 550 degrees, which I think was actually the highest my oven goes. So it's a hot oven.
And it's sort of interesting because as you start to cook it, the sauce sort of sinks down through the toppings. This last time when I made it, I found that the cheese really rose to the top, like over the sauce.
So cool.
It starts to peek through eventually, but you don't want it on the top the whole time in order to protect it.
Gotcha. I use mushroom and olives. I did end up pre-cooking the mushrooms, even though I think I probably should have cooked them a little bit more, but we'll talk about that in just a second.
And I just used pepperoni because I'm basic with my pizza.
That's also what the recipe said, right? It was just pepperoni.
Yeah,
so
just pepperoni. It was like, don't even fuck around trying to put other shit on this. But we're like,
why would you dare?
No. We will not follow this direction. I also give you a little history lesson on gluten. So yeah, you got lots of interesting information in this episode about random things. We did find our cook times were pretty varied. Mine cooked for 15 minutes and yours, Becca, cooked for about 25. And it still didn't look quite as done as I thought it was supposed to.
I agree. I think again, it was I think the mushrooms, and also I forgot this, but I had gotten diced tomatoes instead. And so I had kind of a thicker sauce. I pureed most of that, but I think it was still too thick. I cooked a second pizza and didn't do mushrooms, just did olives and did like the thinnest bits of the sauce that I could do. And it was much quicker. So I think that was what was going on with the 25 minutes. It was so good. Did we already say that? It was so good.
Have we talked about how good this pizza is? Like, do yourselves a favor and make this pizza today. Because it's so good.
It's so good. And we talked about how you can freeze the sauce. And then if you're making the dough pretty quickly the day before, it can come together fast.
Yes.
If you wanted to. So it's a good one. Thanks again, Serious Eats, as always.
We love you, Serious Eats.
So I don't need to cook my mushrooms at all, right? Or should I cook them a little?
I might saute them a little bit, just because they'll release a lot of water otherwise. So I meant to tell you that.
That's okay. I started heating the pan up and then I was like, no, probably I don't need to because it's such a high heat. And then I was like, well, I should probably just ask Gretchen.
Yeah. Yes. It occurred to me at one point in passing and then did not occur to me again. So.
Hey, that makes total sense. It's hard to remember things. We just ground up some of your pineapple haze that you gave us.
Oh, nice. I think I got to harvest my little planty tonight. Hi, Kenzie.
Hi, Ken.
She hasn't meowed at all during this whole thing. That's pretty amazing.
Interesting.
Well, I guess that gives me time to get some wine.
Yeah, please. I've been drinking.
I know. I meant to pour some like at the beginning of the episode, but obviously it escaped me.
At the top of the show?
At the top of the show.
We can say things like that now because we have a podcast.
We're super fancy.
Yeah.
Where are you at with your mushrooms?
They're pretty. I'm going to turn the heat off and just let them kind of keep releasing a little water. But
because I was also going to say, I wouldn't, if the next time you do it, if you end up either reducing your sauce a little bit more, because like we didn't really add any extra liquid into that, did we? It just was the tomatoes was the entirety of the liquid for that.
Yeah. So what does your sauce look like? Can I show you mine?
Yeah. Okay.
Mine's a little chunky.
Okay. Yeah. So mine's kind of hot now because it's been sitting by the stove. But
that's pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's like totally beautiful. Smooth. So if you wanted to make it a little smoother, you can, but you can also leave it chunky, I think.
Gotcha.
Although now that I'm thinking about the topping fiasco last night, there might be a reason they wanted it more liquid than
smoother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna have some burnt garlic in the top.
Yeah. I can't. What? Can you hear her or does?
Yeah, I can hear her. It's really cute.
Yeah. Yes, we know you're very loud. You haven't had your afternoon treats.
Travesty.
I will throw some for you in a little bit. Can you wait? You're a very good kitty. You know I'll throw you some later. You've been getting chunky. Yes, you are.
How big did you cut your cheese?
Mine are kind of large. They probably should be about half this size.
So that's about like a half an inch square, an inch square?
I guess it's a half inch.
Half an inch? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think that not having the specialty pan for this really hurt anything.
Okay. Hard to know because we haven't done it with it. And
Right.
they do recommend it for a reason, like we were saying, but this is a great alternative.
Yeah. No, this worked really well last night.
So now we're just pushing it out to the edges.
Yep. I'm actually already putting toppings on mine.
Whoa, you're on it. So
I'm on it. I'm only on it because I have all my stuff sitting right over here.
Got it.
And I put all of my toppings on instead of half. Although I think I might be topping it a little too hard today. I'm not sure. Yes, this was very good. I think I'll be eating this pizza for like a week though.
Yeah.
It's pretty rich. So like I ate 2 pieces last night and it was good.
Okay, so toppings, then cheese, then sauce.
Well, toppings, then cheese, then more toppings, then sauce.
Oh, okay.
So like this book has these little like sections in them that are like food words, like the little like specialty boxes of information.
Okay.
And gluten, which was discovered by Chinese cooks originally. It was 2 Italian scientists that brought it to attention in Europe.
Okay.
It's named for the fact that it starts out sticky but then dries hard. So like gluten from glue. So the root gel, G-E-L.
Okay.
Actually, brain. Come on, brain. Which gave rise to a number of words. Gluten in turn came from an Indo-European root gel, which gave rise to a number of words meaning form into a ball, to make a coagulated lump, to be thick or sticky, not both at the same time.
Oh, you can't do both. Okay.
These include cloud, globe, gluteus, clam, cling, and clay. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Thank you. I had no idea.
I think it's just pointing to the origin of the words. But the word flour, so here's some of the origin of the word flour.
Okay.
So that was used pretty much exclusively by the English.
Okay.
Which sort of, of course it comes from the obvious source, flour. Right. So flour, meaning you're getting the best part of the wheat grain, after you've sorted out your germ and your bran, the nicest part, that comes to the flour. So to a medieval Englishman, it says, wheat flour would have been a contradiction of terms because you wouldn't call it flour if it still had the germ and the bran in it.
I see. Well, yes, since most things in our lives are based on what some British man said, this is how things go. I think my sauce is a little bit chunky. It's a little late to do anything about that, though.
Well, all right.
Yep. So I think I think it's mostly covered. Is your cheese like peeking out a little at the top and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I did spread my sauce around on top of things here, even though it just says to like kind of throw it on there in the instructions. But that's what I did last night, is kind of spread it over the ingredients. So.
Okay. Are you excited to do it again?
Yes, I hope I did it as well this time as I did the last. And maybe I can actually figure out how long it takes to bake too.
There you go.
All right. Are you ready?
Okay, it's going in. Yep.
Going in.
Okay. What is 12 minutes or something?
I did 12 minutes last night, but that was not long enough. So let's try 15 today. Okay. And I might kind of do the stand
Great
by the
British
oven.
Bake Off?
Yeah, squat.
Okay.
Oven squat.
I just set a timer for 15, but I'll let you know when it gets 13. 2 minutes left. Well, I'll try to. Maybe I should just set it. Well, I'll try to keep an eye on it.
So one of the things I might like to do, like the next time I make it, hopefully for way more people, but this shit is dangerous, is add a little bit of like herbs to the dough so that it has like a little bit of a herb mixture to it. Just like a little garlic and like oregano. I mean, like just add a little bit more of the basics. Yeah. Probably the Italian seasoning that I have that is, I'm sure some would consider a terrible thing.
We've got 10 and a half minutes left.
Mine looks really pretty.
Ooh, is it bubbling on the sides?
Yeah.
This is exciting. Oh my gosh. I love pizza. What's the difference between bread flour and all-purpose flour?
Higher protein content. So
higher protein content in the bread.
Yeah, because you're looking to develop gluten, so there's like extra gluten. I didn't read about that though. I should have.
I'm just curious a little.
Okay, so this is 4 grams of protein on the bread flour I bought. Then just for shits and giggles, let's look at but my cake flour also says 4 grams protein. So they're using similar processes for leavening, but like you'll get bigger bubbles in bread, whereas your bubbles are going to be much smaller in cake.
Okay.
You want a smaller protein structure because you just want little bubbles in the cake for that cake-like texture. Whereas bread, you want larger bubbles.
Okay. Got it. 8 minutes left.
All right. This looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Not a lot of progress from the last check. Turn my pan.
Okay, you're turning it?
Yeah, because one side's looking a bit dark, and the other doesn't look as dark. So.
I'm gonna do that too, even though I don't see the same thing. But I just want to do what you're doing.
It's good just for in case your oven doesn't heat evenly, like apparently mine does not. Or maybe I fuck it all up by having my pizza stone in there. So who knows?
Oh, like the heat distribution, you think?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's theoretically it should actually make it more consistent.
So we've got 2 minutes left, which is 13 minutes in.
I mean, I don't think it's quite ready. What does he say? Bake until the edges are black and bubbly, actually. So okay. I didn't go too far last night. I thought it was just brown, but he says black.
So you did it perfectly.
I did it perfectly last night.
Yeah, I'm looking at this picture again. It looks beautiful. Wow.
I mean, it's really good too. But yeah, I only ate 2 pieces, and I usually am at least a 4 or 5 piece person.
Sure. Thank you for being honest about that.
I fucking love some pizza. I will eat the pizza. That's why my pants aren't the jeans that should fit right now don't really fit.
Right.
But thank goodness that I work from home and get to wear yoga pants all the time. And let's not lie, I also got to wear yoga pants before the pandemic. So.
There you go. Also, I kind of feel like all jeans should be kind of made like maternity jeans where you can just expand it. It's not fair that you spend all this money on jeans and then just because you have a little more pizza, you can't wear them. Come on, give me some more sustainable pants with stretchy bellies. 30 seconds left on our 15-minute mark.
All right, I'm gonna get it out and I'm gonna take its temperature in the center.
What temperature are you looking for?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna take the temperature for some data.
Gotcha.
Just to see what I can see. I'm looking at 155 right now in the center.
Mine's 175.
Are you touching the bottom of the pan though?
I don't think so. Let me try again.
Just kind of keep the end, the tip a little bit closer to the surface.
Okay.
Because that's kind of where I'm looking to make sure it's cooked. But I'm very hesitant to put it back in because the edges are blackened. How do your edges look?
I think the edges are blackened. Yeah, the edges are black. Okay. And it started to pull away just a teeny bit from the side in some spots.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing yesterday too. I think we'll just go ahead and call it done at 15 minutes.
Okay.
I kind of scraped it out.
You're just using a butter knife?
Yeah, I just use a regular knife. And then last night, that was kind of how I looked at the bottom. The bottom looks pretty, just the right color. So I'm going to say mine's done, especially because it'll continue to cook because you got heat from the pan.
I see.
It's not going to hold a ton of heat, but it's going to hold a little bit of heat. So it's going to carry over. Mostly when people talk about meat, they talk about carryover cooking. But you really should consider that for most of the things you do. But the amount that it's going to carry over is going to be affected by, what it is.
I see.
The density of the actual food and what you cook it in and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So since we cook this in a cast iron pan, that's going to hold quite a bit of heat. So taking it out a little bit on the lower side is good. And thank God I got to turn off my oven because
yeah, you're roasting. So mine is, I lifted it up and it's kind of pale on the bottom and I'm a little worried that the top is mushy.
Okay.
So I might put mine back in or no.
How black are your edges?
Not that black. It's just a little bit on the top.
Then I would go ahead and put it back in. Just keep an eye on it,
Okay. Yeah. Are your edges black all the way down from the top to the bottom of the pan?
No, they're just along the top is where it's black.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to avoid cooking the edges much further.
Okay, I'm gonna set a timer for 2.5.
Yeah, and just because you're working with such a high heat. Can you see what I'm doing? No.
So you're shaking it? Oh, to loosen it? Ooh, I love that.
This is not fucking around pizza.
No.
I like it. It's not a super complicated pizza, but he's right about how decadent it is.
Right.
I'm interested to see your smaller one because I have a small little cast iron. So maybe I could make this dough and then just keep it portion it out and do little pieces.
Definitely. I'm just gonna do 1 more minute.
Okay.
Do you have a pizza cutter?
I do have a pizza cutter actually. I didn't use it last night, but I should have. I cut it with a knife and I cut it all janky. I love my pizza cutter. It's totally ornamental.
Oh
but
my
it's a
God, it's a
rabbit.
bunny. It's a rabbit.
It works actually really well.
That's
It's just
awesome.
heavy as fuck.
Okay, I still think I need a little bit more time. And I'm wondering if it's because my sauce is so much thicker than yours.
Oh, possibly.
Well,
It's just holding more water. And also
Yeah.
because your mushrooms might be affecting that
Mushrooms.
as well.
I think maybe I did too thick of a layer of mushrooms, but the top is still kind of mushy. Detroit style pizza. Incredible.
We're amazing.
We are amazing. Bum, 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 bum. We are farmers. Not that I'm not promoting any sort of insurance company, but
I was like, yeah, what is that from? I forget. And then, we are farmers.
Bum, 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 bum. Are we done?
Okay. I think so. I mean,
Okay.
your pizza's still in
Shit,
the
I
oven.
gotta check that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take it out. I think mine might be done. And this, I feel like this has been like at least 25 minutes.
Yeah. Do you have your oven thermometer yet or no?
No, it's on back order.
All right. Because I'd be interested to know if your oven actually gets to 550.
Yeah, good point.
So.
Well, I'm gonna let it sit for a little while.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
But I think it's done. I hope it's done. I can't wait any longer. So Thanks so much for joining us for our Detroit style pizza. Be sure to check us out at HighGluttony.com, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for all of our fun facts and photos.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy this, and we will talk to y'all in a few days.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.